The Anachronauts. They travel through time by downloading history to their brains and archive the past in order to save the future. With their trusty brain download computer, the Epic Traversier, they randomly visit the past year after year. Join them as they embark on their next adventure. Prepare yourself for Anachronology.
Welcome.
Anachronology. You are watching? Correct. Welcome back. 2004. It's been a year, folks. It's been fun. We've had a lot of fun. 2 categories down. Learning things as always, throwing lots of twists and turns. Had some fun segments in there. Real quick before we go to our last category. This year, this season, of course, we're still doing our Patreon. We tell everybody that's where the real party's at. Our Patreon. It's easy to sign up for. You get a ton of fun extras every month, and we're continually rolling that out for all of our members. It's awesome.
You want the full uncut podcast every Monday when we drop it. Feel free to go and be a member of the Patreon page. You still get the show over here on YouTube for free in increments, but the full unadulterated uncut is there in its entirety. And also every week you get a new bonus segment and bonus category that I'm not going to speak to for Tom, but I know I kind of cut loose a little bit on those episodes, and it's a little bit risque versus the normal show. So if you want to go be generous and throw us a couple shekels, and check out patreon.com/anachronology.
Please do. It's a lot of fun. We have fun doing it. Like you said, it's kind of Anachronology after dark. Get a little bit of extra fun, still staying in those years, and extra fun for everybody. But extra fun for everybody right now is our third category, our final category here in 2004, movies. We love talking movies. This was an interesting year, I think, going into it, like right off the bat. If you said, oh, yeah, 2004, I don't think I would have really guessed a lot of these movies came out in this exact year. But it rolls pretty deep with a lot of films that come out in 2004 that, at least in, I think, the 2000s, set the tone for lots of things, set the tones for lots of possibly imitation to come afterward. But I think the bar was set fairly high in 2004. We're going to talk about a couple of those first. Let's go right into it. 2004 gave us The Incredibles, which I think is probably one of the greatest Pixar movies ever made. It's funny, it's caring, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, no notes on The Incredibles. It was just a cool ass Pixar movie.
So my girlfriend, it's funny, the like Disney stuff or the cartoons that she likes or doesn't like. The Incredibles is one where she is like fucking like you said, like no notes on The Incredibles. Like The Incredibles is a banger. And and like I've heard like other movies that she doesn't like love all things Disney or all things Pixar. But for someone as particular as her, when it comes to even things that normally she would like, the fact that she really, really digs Incredibles, I think, is a testament to how good of a film that is. Because it's one thing to have, like, just a normal, whatever it's this target, 10-year-old kid, whatever like the demographic is. But when you've got, like college age dudes, fucking, married couples, couples with young kids, when everybody can agree that this is a banger of a movie, like, hats off to you, Pixar. You knocked out of the park with the Incredibles.
I couldn't agree more. It's great. It's kind of one of those ones that I think, in most people, especially mine, it's in my top 5 Pixar films of all time.
Easy.
It's really good. And I think that it set the bar really high for Pixar. Next up, another film that I thought was really great in 2004 is Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind, directed by Michel Gondry, written by crazy Charlie Kaufman, and it shows. This movie's wild. It's imaginative, incredible performances by Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey. And it's just kind of one of those movies that, like, it's kind of a cool romantic science fiction film, but it's just a lot of like cool in-camera trickery from Gondry. There's really nothing else like it. It's a weird film. It kind of sticks around. It's touching. It hits on some deep kind of cerebral notes.
If one thing that is always difficult for any story to do, stick the landing, has one of I think one of the most for what you get before the end of this film, the ending, like this movie sticks the landing on the ending. Very satisfying. I'm not gonna say it's happy. I'm not gonna say it's sad. It's a very satisfying conclusion to this movie. That is, like you said, like sci-fi roller coastery. Like very, very, very good watch.
Very good watch. Yeah, absolutely. This was definitely one of the more the
Buffalo, Elijah
shining,
Wood.
yeah, one of the more shining
Yeah.
kind of gems that came out that year, that I think turned a lot of heads. When it comes to just kind of, I guess, Oscar pedigree, 2004 did bring $1 Million Baby. Of course, Clint and starring Clint Eastwood. I think really this was where maybe he started to slow down a little bit, realizing his age. I think he probably pulled back from being in a lot of movies that he directed after this. But yeah, and I think this was a book adaptation. I know
Oh yeah.
our boy Clint was always into grabbing a nice book and adapting it. It was kind of an awards destroyer. It won multiple Academy Awards. I think it won her the award. It won him director.
Isn't Morgan Freeman in this too? A little get back together, like he gets the band back together a little bit. I think Morgan Freeman is in this too. I think.
Yes, and he wins the award.
Yeah.
Best supporting. So
Mhm.
best supporting for him, and then Hilary Swank won best actress
lead,
and
yep.
director. So they cleaned house in this. And I mean, I don't, it was an okay film. I mean, it pulled on all the strings that it needed to, but it's not like I'm rushing back to see it anytime soon.
It's a Clint Eastwood special. Take a book or a short story that's already been written, turn it into a movie, and then cast. You're directing it, and you're either starring in it or getting some good actors.
Yeah.
Boom, it's a Clint Eastwood special.
It is the Clint Eastwood special, all the way to Oscar Town.
Yeah.
Next is Show Me the Blueprint. Show Me the Blueprints. The Aviator, directed by Scorsese, starring Leo DiCaprio as Mr. Howard Hughes. I like this movie. I thought it was really good. I think it kind of really started to kickstart this kind of new era of Scorsese and DiCaprio, which, I think he was in Gangs of New York before this. And then he kind of jumped into the leading seat in this, and then really has kind of kicked their relationship into high gear. But I think it kind of showed that DiCaprio could do it. It showed he had the chops to play the role, to kind of take it there. And it was wild. Movie.
So this is a movie that every time I come across it again, like I'll watch a little bit of it, and because I remember when it first came out, I didn't think that this is like, oh man, Scorsese's latest is his greatest, anything like that. Like there's always still something about this film when I see it. I'm like, like I wish it could be. I don't want to say better, but I just think it's like there is a lot of it. Obviously, is DiCaprio's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and when you say like he shows he could do it, and I agree with that. But I feel like the part where it's like, maybe it is like the Scorsese part that like lets me down in this film, because I like it. I just don't love it. But I mean, yeah, him freaking out with the OCD, I love those parts of that movie.
They did a really good job of
I love that.
of capturing that. And you think of it too, it's almost like I don't think Scorsese's not the kind of dude that would always do a ton of like in story CGI and his stuff. And I think like it started with it being more in the more grandness of Gangs of New York, and then he got onto this film, because I will say this is probably one of his more heavier. There's a lot of just fake backgrounds, and the planes are all fake and stuff, which obviously they would be, but I felt like this film was kind of saturated with it. There was a lot of it in there, so works. Sometimes it doesn't, but
star-studded cast as well.
Great cast. Yeah, I had a lot of good people, and DiCaprio got to have that little fucking duster on his lip there.
Yeah.
Moving on. Sideways. Sideways was I guess kind of like a kind of indie film darling, directed by Alexander Payne. Comedy drama. Film follows two friends on a wine tasting road trip. You got the Thomas Hayden Church. Is that who that is? And our boy Paul Giamatti.
Friend of the show, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, look at him. He's looking young. They're both looking young as shit in here, 2004. And yeah, it was like, I think the thing I always took about the movie, it was like, it just looked pretty compact and simple to, it wasn't this big extravagant thing. It was definitely like this buddy road trip adventure. Giamatti steals the show in it. He's so funny and angry.
Thomas Hayden Church is like banging like Sandra Oh, or like cheating on his fiance with Sandra Oh, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's a funny little buddy comedy road trip. Yeah, was he nominated for it? The Holdovers, right? Wasn't he nominated for this year? The Holdovers, or
That's
like
true.
the
Yeah.
Hungovers here. Oh, but
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I think this was also riding in the whole resurgence of wine country and like wine culture. Kind of makes fun of it, laughs in its face a little bit. But yeah, it was good. It made me laugh for sure.
little indie, like you said, indie darling.
Yeah. We got the second Kill Bill in 2004. So this was the second part of the Kill Bill series. Of course, Kill Bill Volume 1 had come out prior, and then this is just basically wrapping everything up. And from the most part, both of the Kill Bills received, pretty much, great critical reviews. A lot of people liked Kill Bill. And yeah, I mean, between the two, I don't really like one more than the other. I think that's one cohesive story. So it's just this is really the second part that ends the story, more or less.
There is I remember seeing this as the whole bloody affair, like seeing them in the theater when this came out, like as one whole movie. And that really is
Cool.
I do also like for it even being part one and part two, it's one movie. So you know what I mean? Like I don't think one is better than the other. I consider it one movie. And even though it is a sit, it's like, it's fucking 3+ hours. I think if you do it that way, it's still for this just being the part that comes out in 24, I still consider this all,
Yeah, it's
one
just
movie.
one really
Yeah.
long film that he chose to split into these two, volumes. And yeah, I mean, I think in general, Kill Bill is, I would say it's probably his most popular film that he had made up until most recently. I think Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time in Hollywood may have taken that mantle of being the more like most people went and flocked and saw it, and Kill Bill was just like crazy and different, and everybody wanted to be Kill Bill after it too. So everybody was trying to do what he did and try to recreate lightning in a bottle.
Oh man, one of my favorite, Michael Parks, the guy who plays the sheriff, but also he plays Bill's like adopted dad, Esteban, the Mexican guy when she goes to the horror place down in Mexico. The way the guy says, "Where's Bill?" Like that guy like stealing. He's in the just that scene, but he like steals that movie with that "Where's Bill?"
That's what
I always think
Tarantino is always so good at doing is it's like you want to stay for the main acting
Mm.
performances, but it's
Oh
the
yeah,
little things that
oh,
link them all together. Like you said, it is all like the B
so good.
characters. It's the minutia that he's so great at, and you get a lot of that in Kill Bill. We also got a little Doc Ock fight in Spider-Man shit in Spider-Man 2, the follow-up to obviously huge success Spider-Man, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire. Alfred Molina joins the crew as Doc Ock. I think I haven't seen this film in a long time, nor have I seen the original Spider-Man. I think that the amazing thing about those movies, talking about having to walk before others can run, is that this was way before Marvel
Mhm.
Studios, and I think Sam Raimi was the guy to show people like, you can make a very profitable and largely entertaining superhero film. And I want to say probably since Batman, really, like the Burton Batmans was a comic book movie possibly as entertaining and successful since that. And I think the Spider-Mans just proved to, especially the studios and Sony at the time who had bought the rights, like fucking cash cow.
Yeah,
These
the only
movies made a shit ton of money.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of they did that was what X-Men in '99, maybe you know what I mean? Like
Correct.
X, but
Yes,
to
very
your
much
point,
so.
that this is we're talking like three kind of franchises in 10 or fucking 12, 11 years. So yeah, very few and far between. You get the proof in the pudding, like Raimi was able to do here with Tobes under the mantle.
A high profile filmmaker
Mhm.
too, like a guy who had done plenty of things. He definitely gave his like taste to it, the whole Rami cam
Oh
thing,
yeah,
and his stylings kind of really worked for it. And I think at this point too, with this movie, it showed it showed a lot of people like we're there with the special effects. Like we
oh
can
yeah.
do some crazy shit. I remember seeing some video of like back when I think Spider-Man 2 came out, they brought a bunch of like original animators of the Spider-Man film, of the Spider-Man comics, to come and see it, and got like their reactions afterward, and they all said kind of the same thing, like now was the time, this was the only time they could do this, that you couldn't have done Doc Ock like this back years ago, and it's true. So I think it's a heavy play on it was the right time to do it, and it opened the doors for just obviously so many more Spider-Mans and everything else, you know.
What does he say when he's all freaking out? He's like, "The power of the sun in the palm of my hand." And then it like explodes, kills his wife.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. And again, dark and that dark Rammy kind of touch to it, which is really good too.
And get a little Bruce Campbell cameo. Hit me with that Bruce Campbell, Raimi.
And stay for that Bruce Campbell cameo. Another film that came out, again, you're talking about like just wow, this came out in 2004. Life Aquatic. Zissou came out in 2004. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, directed by Wes Anderson.
Willem Dafoe is so good.
Honestly, like, you know, I remember going to see this in the movie theaters when it came out. It was probably one of my favorite movies to go see in the movie theater at that time. It was fun. I didn't know what to expect out of it, and it was just it's a ride, man. It's like it's funny when it shouldn't be. Like you said, like it's not just about Bill Murray. It's every person in it is just perfect. They just do a really great job. It's a funny ensemble. Awesome. The magic of Wes Anderson and the way he films things, you know, it really came to fruition in this movie. And I feel like since then, like Wes Anderson is always trying to top himself. It's almost a hard thing to do. I think he peaked a lot with this film, and then a lot of it's just been remnants of this film ever since.
Yeah, I love Grand Budapest. I fucking love Grand Budapest.
I do like that one.
I feel like that's the Grand Budapest is like the. I mean, he kind of has his own little world, but that is like the best kind of spiritual successor for me, like the Zissou and Grand Budapest. But yeah, this is just the effortlessness. The effortlessness of Bill Murray on full display here. Just the effortlessness.
It is so good. And it's just I mean, and you know, it's like I gotta say, for all the things Murray's gotten award buzz for or has even won accolades for, I was shocked that like nobody gave him a little love for this, because he is just he kills it in it. He's so funny, dude. And I don't know if anybody else could have really done it. And obviously this is that pinnacle scene. They're going down the Jaguar shark.
He was eating.
It's just so fucking wacky, dude. I love it. We got a Harry Potter in 2004, Prisoner of Azkaban, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, though, which is interesting. I didn't realize he directed a Potter, but this is like definitely a darker Harry Potter. This is kind of when shit gets dark. I mean, I want to say that I might have read this book back when it came out, and I didn't read any of the other books after that, but I feel like that's kind of the tipping point in at least the story, and shit starts getting evil, which is kind of good.
Yeah, this is the one where Hermione gets her period. She's a total bitch. Trying to stave off all these fucking wizards with wieners coming at her.
It did suck to be Hermione, yeah. But yeah, and I mean, again, it's just to think of how long, even after this, they continued to make these. I mean, and these kids were little babies when they made it, and they're just getting older and older as the series go on until they obviously age out.
The introduction of fan favorite Sirius Black, played by Gary Oldman in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, the Dementors and shit were in this. And again, it just started to be like, ooh, there's some evil shit. And I feel like they showed enough of it and teased it in the other films. And then finally they were like, yeah, there's some evil shit. And here it is. And I don't remember too much of this film, but I think any Harry Potter film that came out made a shit ton of money because it just capitalized on that.
Yeah, it was like broke a record every time they put out a new one. It blows the other one's box office out of the water.
Money, money, money. Harry Potter.
Must be funny.
Ray came out in 2004, directed by Taylor Hackford and obviously starring Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles. Talk about just, right time, right place. I think Fox was born to play this role. I think he did kind of an uncanny kind of interpretation, let alone acting, but singing and playing the piano like Ray Charles was incredibly impressive, enough to obviously earn him an Oscar. And he won best he won best actor for that year. And from what I remember seeing it, it was impressive.
Yeah,
it's a decent film all around.
Seeing him perform in that role, it's real fucking good.
Really
It's like,
good.
especially seeing real footage of the way Ray Charles talked, the way he moved, the way he
I
moved
know.
when he sang, the way he played the piano. Like Jamie Foxx fucking channeled that motherfucker. That was
He
excellent.
really did. You talk about somebody truly getting into the skin of the person they're
Yeah.
playing, and it's just everything. All the mannerisms were there. It was scary. And yeah, and I think too, this just kicked off the charge that has still been going on to this day of like, there's money to be made in music biopics,
Mhm.
like we'll find somebody tortured artist and we'll try to make money
Yeah,
off.
like I didn't even see all of the Queen biopic one, but I
Mm.
thought that was fucking not good. Like, I did
No,
not. Like, I was
I was
not
not.
impressed.
I
Like
was
I
not a
was not. I
fan
was like, I'm not gonna watch. I'm
at
not
all.
finished watching. It's like I'm not even digging it. Yeah, this is like decent
And
for
in a
sure.
day and age where this has already
Yeah.
been made, you're just like, it doesn't even,
Mm.
it hails in comparison to Ray. Um, Team America came out in 2004, probably one of my favorite films to come out of that year. Obviously, the South Park guys were busy not just making South Park, but they decided to make an action movie with marionette puppets in this satirical action comedy, which was so fucking pitch perfect. And obviously, I think a breath of fresh air for everybody to kind of almost be able to laugh at all the events that had transpired since 9/11, the wars, terrorism. It just went for the juggler and in a great, great fucking way.
I saw, dude. Oh, the first time I saw this movie in the theater, me and my girl I was dating at the time, we ate mushrooms and went and saw this dude, and it was awesome. Like it was already fucking tits wild. Like being under the influence of psychedelics in a packed movie theater was a trip to say the least, brother. But oh my god, I can
Oh,
remember on like Monday, if we saw it on the weekend, like the come Monday, whatever, running into people for work, or in the what's the song, America, fuck yeah, like people
oh, God.
like that was a rallying cry for like a week.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And even to this day, like, I mean, you're talking 20 years ago, and
Mm,
that song is still as tried and true
mhm,
as ever. And again, just only those two dudes can do that kind of
mhm,
shit. They can take something that's hard to talk about or against the grain and present it in such a fashion very similar to South Park, bigger, longer,
mhm.
uncut, putting that out in the late 90s. It was just that kind of thing where they were like, fuck it, we can do it. We'll do a musical with, and we'll have them be crass and rude and gross, and it'll be
Dude,
great.
you took the kind of words out of my mouth there with the musical aspect, because there's all the original songs. There's Team America, like Only a Woman is like the love song when the
Oh,
puppets are banging.
yeah,
Um,
there's literal puppet
the
sex in that.
the like when they do the Rent song, it's like Everyone Has AIDS, and it's
Everyone
like
has
a
AIDS.
Broadway number. Like, dude, there's just like
Pearl Harbor
Harbor
sucks.
songs. Yes, dude, there's so many good songs,
Amazing.
dude.
I've been actually waiting. I'm like, they always release, I think they release like the South Park movie on vinyl. I'm like, where's the Team
Oh,
America vinyl?
come
Like,
on,
where's that
come
remastered?
on.
It's only a matter of time, especially because we're creeping up on that 20 years.
Oh
But
yeah, makes sense.
amazing, another just kind of like landmark comedy movie to come out at that time. Speaking of landmark comedy movies, another one to grace theaters was obviously
Oh yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite. So, I mean, again, 2004, pretty freaking stacked with pretty big releases. Directed by Jared Hess. Obviously, just an incredibly character driven ensemble starring Napoleon Dynamite. But yeah, the most quotable film of the year. Everybody just like the Vote for Pedro shirts.
I know that this is like a very, like, either people love this movie or people hate this movie. Like I understand this is a very divisive movie. I remember seeing this I was one of, fuck, dude, there was like not barely anybody in the theater when I saw this. And when the movie opens and he's waiting for, like, he's in front of his house and he hears the school bus coming and he just fucking like sighs. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I was like, I don't know how like good this is gonna be, like, but I know I'm gonna laugh. Like
Yeah.
I understand people not like this movie. There is some great fucking laugh out loud moments, even if you don't like Pedro or Napoleon or his uncle Rico,
Oh,
John Grease. fucking hilarious. Like he
Amazing.
is the
Kip,
shit in this movie.
amazing. There's so many good. His brother Kip,
Oh,
like all that's what's another thing is it's the great supporting characters. The whole like bizarre universe that it takes place in is just
fucking
you said it
Utah.
best. You totally laugh at it and it's funny. And I think that again, this style took over and a lot of
Mhm.
people have tried to do this again. And I even think Jared has tried. I want to say like Nacho Libre was another one that he made that was still
Right.
just like, sure, you know, you got away with having Jack Black in it and still the whole like a couple of funny lines, but it was like, yeah, he kind of peaked here,
Yeah,
I think.
take the camera off the sticks. Let's get a little movement here. Let's bring a little life to the fucking direction, Jared. We
You
can't
know,
just
it's
we can't
cool
just
to see a movie that's, you know, obviously filmed on an incredibly low budget, you know,
Mhm.
breakthrough like this. And I think that's another thing that was so like amazing about Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah,
Made for nothing and made
yeah,
so much
yeah.
money in
Hey,
return.
Jared, can we
Wow.
pay you nothing and have us rake in $500 million, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, get right on that, Hollywood.
Oh my God. And the hits keep coming. 2004 also gave us Shaun of the Dead. I mean, you talk about stacked. So now you got Shaun of the Dead. Director Edgar Wright's basically big premiere in major motion pictures. We've talked about Edgar on the show. We did talk about Spaced on one of our earlier shows, and we even said to you feel kind of the early blueprints of Shaun of the Dead, even in Spaced.
I
And
know.
this was the movie he was born to make, and it just blew the fuck up. Everybody watched this movie, and you got Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, who just became massive stars.
I know this isn't there is a lot of humor in this, but it's still, zombie movie, so it's still technically like a horror film. Uh this I don't want to say doesn't get the love it deserves around Halloween time, but I am surprised
Yeah.
how because granted it's not necessarily like in the movie monsters of like, Freddy or Poltergeist or extra or shit like that, but it is zombie genre. Man, this is I mean, for not being one of those like Halloween, stands the test of time from the 70s type scary movies, this is like easily, to me, easily top 10 scary horror movie of all time. Easily. It's so good. It's so well written.
Yeah, and like you said, it's like and it pays great homage and justice to all the genres that it's kind of jumping over in it. You know, it's a really funny comedy. It's a really good horror movie
Mhm.
by design, and it's just incredibly smart. And that's just it too. That dude just found a way to really make some incredibly different elevated comedy with his own totally unique voice and style.
And Nick Frost is the reason for the search term dogs. Can dogs look up? Is like if you put in the Google, like, when was this queried? Like when this movie comes out, it's can dogs look up, and fucking spiked because of this
It's
dude's fucking
amazing.
like ad lib line. So good.
That's awesome. And then pretty much rounding off our first look at films in 2004, another just really great comedy was Anchorman.
Oh,
So you talk about just the cherry on top. Anchorman was another one of those movies I vividly remember going to the theater to see and just everybody in the theater just laughing. There was never really a dull moment. If you were just looking at the people in costume, Steve Carell, you just look at him and you laugh. And the outrageousness, and I think almost the hat on the hat that kept going throughout Anchorman was so outrageous. But man, they sell it. They sell it so effing hard, dude.
yeah, and this is a great
Oh, it's one of my favorite
as
scenes
as
in the movie.
wacky as the movie is, and then this shows up
Yeah.
at the battle of the networks. Dude, it's fucking tits out, man.
And a total like big quotable movie. Everybody's quoting it. Everybody, Adam McKay obviously made him a big name. Judd Apatow is attached to this, and obviously, Will Ferrell. This was just. I mean, if he's going to be known for any character when he dies, it will totally be Ron Burgundy.
Oh man, yeah, fucking what's his name? Champ Kind. I can't remember the name of that actor.
David
Buckner. Yeah,
Kellner.
Kelkner. Yeah, Kelkner. Kelner.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he like does
Whammy.
my catchphrase, whammy.
and
Makes
there's
no.
and there's Paul Rudd
Yeah.
forever immortalized.
Oh yeah, Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Brian Fantana or something. I'm trying to remember all of their names.
I'm Brian Fantana. I'm Brian. But
Yeah,
then Brick,
and obviously, yeah.
Brick
What was his name?
Tamlin,
Brick
Tam-
Tamlin. Brick
right?
Tamlin, yeah. I love Lamp, just like
I
the
love
dumbest, stupidest lines, and obviously a movie really steeped in improvisation, which is hilarious. And when
Rick
it
killed her with
works,
trident.
just so good.
Uh,
Let's round it off here with some what I like to call doo-doo films of
mm.
2004. Figure we've talked about all the good. You have to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff here. Let's talk about some doo-doo films. 2004. Start that charge with 2004's Catwoman. Talk about a movie that did not need to be made. Starring Halle Berry as the titular character. I don't really know why this was made and why we felt. I guess this was us taking a shot at trying to do like the standalone Batman villain movie, but panned. Nobody liked this movie. Lackluster performances, and obviously, it just has become a critical failure and a laughing stock over the years.
You know how horrible the movie must be for Halle Berry can't even make it look good. I mean, Halle
Yeah,
Berry is a dime, and
yeah.
her fine ass can't even save your fucking picture.
No, she can't.
Garbage.
Yeah, she can't sex this up any more than you can imagine for it to just be a steaming piece of shit. So, yeah, Catwoman, absolute doo-doo film of 2004. This one, just from the title alone, is a doo-doo film of 2004. Have never seen it, never will see it. Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Is this the one where that they have like the CGI of making their mouth moves is terrible? Like it's like they actually have them talking, right? Don't these like these I think the children are like they film the babies like I don't know in a fucking remote control car or walking or whatever, but then they have like they look who's talking them, but they actually have their mouths move to make it look like they're. I think that is what happens here.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up. AI producer does have a clip. Let's try to watch. There's a trailer if we can actually stomach it. But you are correct. I think the
I think that's what I remember.
Is just an abomination, is what it is. Let me pull this up really quick.
I think,
I mean, like the people that were just like, you know what, the world needs super babies.
I think I have those. I think I bought those sunglasses at Target, though. I think I do have those same sunglasses.
Oh, it's just so bad. Let's see here. Here we go. Super Babies, Baby Geniuses.
Oh, no.
2.
Oh God.
Let's truly get the full experience. Here we go. This is what we missed.
When an evil villain threatens to take control of the world.
In just a few hours.
And it's John Voight. John Voight is the villain in fucking Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
Oh my God.
What loan shark are you paying off here?
Television sets.
There is only one group.
And he's doing like a German accent.
Sorry about that.
Now, it will take a legendary hero.
Why don't you pick on somebody happy
Oh.
to die?
Oh no. Oh, so he is old enough to like
To
talk.
unite them and create the ultimate team.
We can become our super selves and help things out. All right, kids.
We're about to have company.
Oh no.
Nice spot. A little candy cane for my taste, but then
Oh my God.
This is so weird, dude. This is fucking creepy.
I'm like cringing for John Voight. Like, how did you get John Voight? And he's all like playing some kind of like
Nazi or something weird.
Like watered down Nazi fighting. The Nazi has to fight the Super Babies.
Oh man, come on, John Voight. What happened?
Absolute hot pile of poop. It just
Couldn't you
looks
borrowed
so
some money from Angelina, your
bad.
daughter?
Look at these terrible 2004 graphics.
Drain Boy. Yeah, you see his voice. You see his mouth moving. Yeah, yeah. That's not.
Courageous.
It's my turn.
Oh,
Bouncing boy.
I like bouncing.
bouncy.
Yeah. They're totally doing that shit. They're making their mouths move. Yeah, this is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The
This is the sequel too. This is the sequel. They're
just when you thought you couldn't have enough Baby Genius, they gave you a full second film in all of its fucking glory, which is just absolute hot trash. Next in doo-doo films of 2004,
doo-doo films.
coming up is Van Helsing. This was the question, like, can Hugh Jackman be good in other things that aren't X-Men movies? And the answer was no. Not even
not
with
this one.
not even with hot Kate Beckinsale
Oh,
by
yeah.
his side. Yeah, this was directed by Steven Sommers, the guy that did like the Mummy movies, which yeah, sure. I mean, you had a couple of fun moments there. I think the first Mummy is pretty cool, you know, kind of the Brendan Fraser one,
yeah.
but this is a great example of a movie that just had so much excessive CGI that it just was absolute hot garbage. It was so bad looking. All the effects looked like shit. The characters were terrible. Yeah, and not even just star power could have kept this one going, man.
Yeah, this was like, we own the rights to this. If we don't make a movie, we're gonna lose the rights to them. Let's make a movie. Get us that guy who made the Mummy, because we're using all of the monsters that we can have that we already pay for. But yeah, this is a movie that did not need to be made at all. It shows. It's terrible.
Terrible film, doo-doo film of 2004.
Yeah, I think this was like a DVD watch back in the day, and even then, like watching on DVD, like, oh god, like, you know what's bad when you're watching a DVD at home and you're in your 20s and you're like drinking beer and you're like, I don't even want to finish this fucking thing. Like that, it's bad.
When alcohol and maybe even a joint can't
Joint or
get you
two,
through
yeah.
a film, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You are in trouble. That would probably have been the same case with this next film, Surviving Christmas. Incredible that they could even get James Gandolfini, and this is 2004, so this is in his height of Tony Soprano fame, and just sad Ben Affleck. Like, this is back when Ben Affleck was like throwing anything at the wall, seeing as if it would stick. This is basically like post Armageddon. He probably had done Pearl Harbor. They're like, let's put him in a funny Christmas movie, and that fucking sucked too.
I'm trying to think who's
even
the
remember
woman.
This movie.
Yeah, I remember like seeing the trailer. I want to say like who's the love interest that they have that Ben Affleck's trying to woo, because I feel like that's someone else that makes sense around this time where they would be.
And James Gandolfini, granted, that's his kind of natural resting face, but he does not look happy to be in this film at all. He just showed up. This bought him a house at some point, and that's
vacation
fine.
home.
And that's cool. Let's round it off. Doo-doo Films 2004, which I would assume probably should be very high up in Doo-doo Films of 2004. White Chicks. How could we forget White Chicks? Yeah, dude. White Chicks, directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans. I don't know.
Hollywood getting brothers to dress up like white women. You like Cat Williams said, they're corrupting them all. And also, okay, do you think now, could this movie be made if they were white men who are black chicks? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we flipped it, like the Wayans brothers, who are black men, dress up in this film, are white chicks. Now, if there are white men who dress up like black chicks, that you can't make that movie, right? Like, you can't make that movie.
You can't, all thanks to 1980s
Soul Man.
Because really, I feel like White Chicks is allowed because
of Soul Man. Fair enough.
Because of Thomas Howell here. We can thank him. He had to obviously walk before White Chicks could fly.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
And it did in 2004. Yeah, that's it. That's movies 2004. I went through the good, the bad, and the ugly,
and the doo-doo.
And the doo-doo of 2004. Before we get out of here, we're going to do one last seggy of 2004. This is a new seggy. It's kind of attached to our Crushin' Hard series that we like to do here. But this is a brand new segment we like to call Swipe Right or Run. And the way we like to work this is basically we're going to take a potential scenario where, let's say that fictional characters from 2004 movies were just on an online dating app. We have said dating app. Are we going to, in the world of dating apps, swipe right to perhaps match with these people? Or are we just going to fucking take off running because we don't want to fuck with these broads?
All right.
So that's basically the name of the game. We're going to go through a couple and we will decide. We'll talk about some of their strengths, their weaknesses, and we'll make that decision. So let's get right into it. Swipe right or run. Let's bring up our first person. Hey,
that's incredible.
Oh, God. Elastigirl, Helen Parr. I mean, strong, flexible, dedicated mother. Did I say flexible? And did I say a big old booty, big old dump truck ass? Thank you, Pixar. Who does her voice? Isn't it like
Helen Hunt, right? Helen Hunt.
not Helen Hunt?
Oh no, or Helen
Holly
no,
Hunter.
Holly Hunter. Holly Hunter. Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
Holly
we
Hunter.
yeah we had the HH.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what are her weaknesses? I mean, she's definitely overprotective, and she struggles with, I guess, balancing her family.
And she has children. I don't want no single mom shit, Elastigirl.
It's kind of true. I don't know if I would deal with it. You know, if we're on this dating app and I'm looking at it, I mean, that's a pretty swipe right moment right there.
I
Is
would
there
still.
baggage with that?
Oh, yeah, come on.
On face value, it might be a swipe right.
I'm swiping right on Elastigirl. Come on.
Look at that. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, come on. I mean, just
Yeah.
even the get up alone. I mean, she comes with her own little boudoir play outfit. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so there's a swipe right. Moving on, we're gonna have Brecius from Troy. Yeah, so obviously this is from the movie Troy, played by I can't think of her name.
Oh, that's not
Australian. She's Australian.
yeah.
Rose Byrne.
There you go, Rose Byrne.
There she is. Rose Byrne, very pretty woman. Brecius is a priestess of Apollo and the cousin of Hector and Paris of Troy. She's portrayed as a woman of strong will, compassion, and deep faith. So I'm sure those things are going for. I mean, sure, visually, she's a good looking lady, pretty good looking. I mean, what are her
here's
weaknesses here?
The weaknesses is she seems to be married to the church, my friend. I mean, I don't know what these priestesses of Apollo, if they are able to, or if they are celibates. You know, their devotion is to the god of Apollo. Yeah. But even if, let's say, you do get on a date, like, how much is this going to be talking about? You
Apollo?
know, yeah, like, is this going to be some like Scientology spiel? I mean, if based on her looks, I would definitely like to swipe right. However, if this is all in her bio talking about, oh, I'm a priestess, they go, I think I'm a run on it. I think I'm a run.
You're right. I think that's a big one. I think that definitely goes into the consideration. So I'd probably run as well. Sorry, Brecius. Moving on. Veronica Corningstone from Anchorman, a very strong woman pioneer of the anchor craft of news. She's very knowledgeable, skilled in journalism, determined, driven. She doesn't take shit. Says how she feels. And, you know, she's a very perky and attractive blonde anchor woman.
Man, if this is if this also exists in the 70s, you know what I mean? I mean, all fucking day, I'm swiping right on this. I mean, Veronica Corningstone, like 70s Veronica Corningstone, the time in which it takes place.
Great. Yeah,
right.
I would think so too. I feel like, you know, sure, she's you know, maybe her ambition is a little competitive. She can get a little competitive or whatever. But I mean, I would be fine with that. If I just had this to look at and deal with, sure.
I mean, I think I'm also, there's part of me. I know that Veronica Corningstone is a character that Christina Applegate plays, but I feel like the young boy in me will never not remember her as daughter Bundy on.
Very true.
Yeah, like, so
Kelly
she was
Bundy.
Kelly Bundy. Yeah, so just fucking always had a crush on you. Always had a crush on you, girl. So I think regardless, I'd have to swipe right on you.
Let's go. Let's swipe right on Veronica Corningstone. With a name like Veronica Corningstone, that'd be great. Beatrix Kiddo, the bride. Bad fucking ass, obviously, played by Uma Thurman. I mean, bro, former assassin. She's vengeful, an absolute skilled badass fighter. I mean, dude, she's got it all. Martial arts, weaponry. She's a formidable opponent to anyone, man. But that means she would be pretty deadly to you if you fucked with her. So good. I don't know if it'd be like, I'm sure it'd be fun, but then what happens when you got to break up or something goes wrong? She's going to kill your ass.
I mean, in the beginning of, is it the beginning of 2 or the beginning of 1? Whatever, they're at the wedding, and her, like, the guy she's marrying is a total, like, loser. Like, he's a total, so it's like, that gives me hope that, like, if a guy like him could lock her down, like, all right, but everything that you said raises all of the red flags. Like, if you screw up, you know, don't empty out the dishwasher, you're gonna wake up without a fucking hand. You know what I'm saying? So you should cut that shit off.
Viper Assassin Squad shit. Yeah.
So, man, I think I gotta run, bro. I think I think I gotta run. I think I gotta run.
Sorry, Beatrice.
I want to lock you down, but I don't think I can hang.
No. Moving on. Kate Veitch from Dodgeball. She's the lawyer that joins up with the average Joes. Obviously played by Ben Stiller's real life wife.
isn't it Maureen something? The fuck is her name? In either case,
yeah, I'm not sure of her.
she played when they did the Brady Bunch movie. She played the eldest Brady Bunch.
Marsha.
Yeah, Marsha.
Yeah, I mean, she's a competent lawyer. She's smart, resourceful, physically fit and skilled in sports. Obviously, she's great at dodgeball. She's easy on the eyes. I mean, I don't see much of a problem there. I'd probably
Girl
swipe
Next
right on
Door.
that.
Yeah, Girl Next Door look. Got a get a speeding ticket or something. You can get lawyer
Get out of
connections.
that
Get me out of
easily.
that. Oh yeah, yeah. Physically, like you said, physically fit. May have like plays dodgeball, so could probably have a couple beers, go down to the play
Into
some
team
kickball or
sports.
something.
Yeah,
Throw some darts, play some pool, something.
cool. She's kind of the girl next door kind of thing, little tomboy thing. Yeah, you get a swipe right. Let's go for it. I don't see any potential danger. Moving on, we got Polly Perkins from the Sky Captain and World of Tomorrow. Looks like played by what's her fucking bitch here? What's her name? I can't think of her name. Why is it just
Oh man, I don't know who that is.
Vagina Candle.
Oh, that's Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh shit, that's Gwyneth
Paltrow.
Paltrow. Oh, okay. I like how
Gwyneth
you
Paltrow.
couldn't you said vagina. I'm like, oh, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Vagina. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the only thing that cued it in my head. But Polly Perkins, a determined and fearless reporter from the New York Chronicle in the time of Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Obviously, sharp-witted, highly resourceful. I think Jude Law is the Sky Captain. She's tagging along with Jude Law. Courageous. I mean,
Jolie's in this movie too, isn't she?
yes, she is. Yeah, she's an eye patch in it, which
Yeah.
is even more atrocious. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Possibly, maybe a little nosy, being a reporter, sticking her nose in people's business where it shouldn't belong.
I'm getting a little like instead of getting like this
Kristen
come
vibe.
hither stare, yeah, I'm getting like a little bit of cold, a little judgy. Like I'm getting a little like, yeah, like nothing I could ever do would be good enough for you.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
I'm a little cold, a little.
I'm running. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
dealing
wrong.
with
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah, we're out of here.
Sorry. You can take your trench coat and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, unless of course you want to leave it on the floor for the morning.
That's right.
Just
Hey now. All right. Let's talk about Sylvia Stickles from a dirty shame, that John Waters film. Well, we can see her two biggest assets right up front here. Those big, insanely massive fake breasts.
Yeah, Jesus.
That she gets put on there. But I mean, I guess she sure is resilient. She's rallying for something she believes in, which are these two big
giant titties
that she put on herself. I mean, listen, I think this is truly just, are you a tits or ass man? I think if you're a tits man, it's definitely a swipe right. They're scaring me. I'm scared. I'm scared of those things.
Yeah, you know what I want to do? I want to like be her friend and hang out with her and then meet her friends because I don't think I could deal with those like
so much.
It's just too much. Like I don't think I could. I don't think there is a man out there who would be able to appreciate those more than myself. However,
I agree.
I bet she is a fun hang. Like I bet she's like just a cool chick to hang for
Crushing
sure.
beer cans with those things and you're laughing. Yeah, I would probably run. I just wouldn't be swiping right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be swiping
right. Said, maybe we'll keep that in the friend zone. I think once you get out of there, there's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
Moving on, Tammy from Layer Cake.
Oh,
Tammy, of course, very glamorous.
Good movie too. Yeah,
a manipulative woman. Sienna Miller.
That's it. Sienna Miller.
Sienna Miller, gorgeous, beautiful. But she is, she's quick thinking and resourceful in the film. I think she's a little devious. I think she pulls a couple ones over on good old Daniel Craig and Layer Cake. So I think she's manipulative. I don't know if it's worth, people that like to manipulate others. That's dangerous. She got her hooks in you.
See, now here's, oh man, see, that is true. But if, like she got that accent too. Sucker for that English girl accent to fucking
tell me anything you want.
Yeah. Kill me with that. It's like if I don't know that she's like her history, if I don't know like manipulative, like if my boy Danny Craig says, "Oh man, I'm seeing this girl," and she like, and then I come across, I was like, "Oh man," but if I know nothing about her and I see her, I mean, I'm swiping right on.
I agree. I guess I will I'll wait on. I'll see if the betrayal happens.
I'll wait till she breaks my fucking heart.
In the moment, it's definitely a swipe right for sure. She's a looker. Moving on. Next up, we've got Allie Hamilton from The Notebook.
Oh,
we got Rachel McAdams. Everybody obviously, I think, falls in love with her in this film. I mean, I've never seen The Notebook. I don't really plan to see it, but I've heard enough about it. I've seen the what do you want? I've seen that clip 100 times. Now, that clip alone is already spelling trouble for her, because the indecisiveness, I couldn't be doing that every day. I couldn't be the Ryan Gosling, what do you wanting her in the rain when she can't make a decision. That's a huge turnoff.
Yeah, I have seen The Notebook because you could use it to get laid back in the day. So
yeah.
I've definitely pulled that play card. And and yes, she definitely gives off like high school girlfriend who is not a grown woman, but you're in love with her, but she's still a girl. So yeah, I would say, like, I want to swipe right because I love you, Rachel McAdams, in 2004. I mean, I want to be, like I said, like high school, like I want to be a high school boy and fall in love with you. However, the drama, I feel like there's a little too much drama that you like. Because I didn't fall in love with you when we were 16, I am not going to like be the Ryan Gosling for you.
Yeah.
So like I don't feel like I need to lose my shit over you. So I am going to run just because you are a rich girl and you are a little too much. You're a little too much baggage, I think.
I think so. I'm on board with that.
But I love you, Rachel McAdams. I love
she's
you.
gorgeous. She's beautiful, obviously. But you can't decide where we're gonna eat. I'm out.
Yeah,
I can't
come
do
on.
it.
What do you want?
Yeah, that's me.
I don't know.
And that's usually every man every night when you're trying to go out to eat too. I can't do that. Moving on, we've got Ivy Walker from The Village. Here she is. Ivy Walker, kind-hearted, determined. She is blind. That's a tough one. So she is blind. I mean, you love people for who they are. Lives in obviously a secluded village with a dark secret. She's brave. That's cool. I think harrowing. That's cool. A lot's going on there. Obviously, I wouldn't want to, like, if I dated her, I don't know. I'd have to get used to her weird ways. Like, I got to go visit you in your weird village. There's all these weird rules. Creepy, almost kind of culty thing going on there.
Hot take. I feel like The Village is an underrated film. I know it gets a lot of shit in the Shyamalan pantheon. I actually do like this movie. I am fine with the twist. Bryce Dallas Howard, I think she is phenomenal in this role.
Great.
If I'm in The Village, I am gonna like Joaquin Phoenix in this movie and lock her down. Like I am wifing her up if I am in The Village. If I am not in The Village, like you said, like got to go visit her in the cult, be like, oh man, okay, this is kind of cool. Like I'm getting the fuck out of there. If I do come across her on the dating app outside of The Village, I'm running. If I'm on the dating app inside The Village, I'm wifing her. I'm locking her down as my wife. I am
fair. That is a fair assessment of that. I think you'd be happy with those results.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Agreed. So there you go. There's Bryce Dallas Howard as Ivy Walker. Moving on, we've got this is kind of an instant swipe right. Danielle from The Girl Next Door. What is she? I mean, we do know after watching the film, she is an ex-porn star. I mean, there's that. She kind of runs from her kind of jaded past, haunted from the things that she did a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might give it a chance. If you showed up sopping wet to my door like that, I might swipe right.
I've never used a dating app, been a relationship, so it just didn't. When this was a thing, like didn't overlap, right? I feel like though, if I were to be someone on a dating app, I'd imagine there's probably some of those times where when you swipe right, it's just like a Hail Mary pass. Like, let me just see if they like get back to me. This is like a 100% Hail Mary swipe right. Like, I'm expecting nothing and hoping for everything. So yeah, this is like a Hail Mary. I don't even like, okay, yeah, whatever. We'll just see where it goes.
And like a lot of things, if that was on any kind of app today, you'd be like, this is either an OnlyFans account that's trying to fucking, swindle me, or this is a catfish for sure. This person, this is not their real picture.
Yeah, this is a Hail Mary.
It's an incredible thirst trap that most men would probably fall for. Okay. And then you just deal with it after.
Okay, you need how much more money? Okay, hold on.
That's fine. Yeah. All right, let's end it off. The final one we're going to talk about is our girl Jessica Biel back in the countdown as Abigail Whistler from Blade Trinity. I mean, she's a fucking badass, fierce vampire hunter. I think she uses a fucking bow and arrow and shit. And she's just ripped up. I mean, this character is, I mean, she's deadly. I mean, you don't want to cross her or piss her off. But you know,
But she
she's
is Jessica
easy
Biel.
on the
Yeah, she's
eyes,
Jessica
baby.
Biel.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what kinds of, I mean, she's again skilled fighter. I mean, when we come to weaknesses, I guess just I know she loses Whistler. Whistler dies. She can have all like weird dad issues after, and then you got to deal with that shit.
That's all. Like, fuck, I got vampires we were killing. You're crying about your dead
God.
dad. Yeah.
He won. Listen, if he knew it was dangerous, he shouldn't have done it.
See, I believe this might just be me knowing this is Jessica Biel talking, but I feel like this is also a like a swipe right to see what happens type thing. Like I just like, hey, like I'm
good.
like she's definitely not, like I said, different from the Hail Mary pass of the girl next door from the prior one, but still the same thing. I think it's just I'm caught in the spell of Jessica Biel because she is 10 out of 10 in my book.
Absolutely.
And you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I'd probably be
baby.
like, this is pretty cool. What did she got? Like, you're in a bow and arrow. Like, you're into guns. You want to go shoot some guns? Like, you could probably go do some cool man shit with her, you know?
And she's got your back. She's got your six always. So I agree. Swipe right. There it is. That's great. Our first time down the swipe right or run rabbit hole. I feel some decent choices made there. Curious to what our viewers at home might have been thinking. How would you have played it?
Yeah. Who would you swipe on? Who would you run from?
Swiped on. Well, ladies and gents, that brings us to the very end of our episode here in 2004. It's been a ton of fun. We have seen some things. We've learned some things, remembered some things. We've talked about the fads. We've talked about music. We've talked about movies. We've had some fun segments. It's been a fun jaunt in 2004. Join us again next week. Another time, another year. It's all a mystery.
And please, if you haven't liked, comment, and subscribe, do all of those things. And if you like, check us out on Patreon. We get the whole free, you get the whole uninterrupted show with the bonus content of our new segment, bonus content of a bonus category and a bonus segment each week. So the least we can ask you to do is come back and see us again. And the most we can ask you to do is throw us some money on Patreon. But either way, thank you for watching this episode of Anachronology. And we'll see you on the next one.
Later. Bye.